Alright, so we are going to replace the heating element and the valve plunger and the handle in the 240 wax blocker from Optek. So yeah, these are most of the tools that you're going to need. But yeah, let's get started. This one here is basically just to, you can also use a flathead, but most of the time you're only going to need to take off the left side for these parts. Usually you'll only take the right side off if you're gonna do like a good deep clean of a wax spill or something. But I rarely ever have to take the right side off of the top there. So yeah, and I would also recommend getting a little tub or something for all the screws, because there will be a lot of them. I'll just put mine in here for now. And there's two more right here. And a lot of places will still have this plastic piece in here. That piece needs to stay there. You can take it out and put it back in, but don't lose it, or else wax will be flowing through the bottom here and underneath everything. Usually there's two screws right here, but mine were broke and they're just plastic. So yeah, let's get the handle off. This one's usually really tight because I don't like it to slip. Alright, once you get this open, if you do it at the end of the day, just be careful. Well, first of all, before we touch anything, let's make sure the machine is off. But if you do, even if it is off and it's still the end of the day, which one is it? This one? Yeah. If it's the end of the day and you're doing all this, doing any maintenance on here, always unplug it. But also, this thing doesn't stop getting hot instantly, obviously, so it's got to have time to cool off once it turns off throughout the day. But this right here is the heating element. Sometimes these wires will come off if you're trying to pull it out or something and the wax is dry, so you want to make sure you're not ruining these wires. They're super easy to replace, but you know, the heating element is hot. So this is basically how I take mine out. It's easier to take out when the wax is wet, obviously, but that's the heating element there. I've had to replace this one and the one behind here. Same thing, but this one back here is a little bit longer. But yeah, this is the heating element. So if the wires come off, just order a new one. Once you replace it, you put it back into this top hole here. It won't fit in the other ones. Those are for the Allens. Put it back here. And then the wires go into these guys here. And that is where I will need a flathead, because you got to push down right here and that'll unpinch the wires in here. So whichever ones you're replacing, push down with a flathead right there and then pull the wires out. And same thing to put them back in. That's where these wires and heating elements connect to. So that's the heating element. It's the same for both of them. So now we can probably just get to the plunger, because once I get the plunger out, I'll show you that the other one pulls out as well. Exactly the same. But yeah, let's get this out of the way. And yeah, this is the safety shield. Let's unplug this. This one here, I believe. Yep. So this Allen is the same one, that same size that we use for this lap tool holder for the contour. Same one. And this Allen for these ones, these two bolts here, is the same one I use for the 2G lap tool holder. So that's if you need to find one of those quick. Those are the same sizes. So we just leave this guy over here for when we need lap tools. So these ones come out. I just leave those there until I'm ready to take that off of there fully. But yeah, we got these ones coming out. Let's get that heating element out of there. And watch out, because it is, like I said, it is hot. So try and like put it somewhere where it won't get you. Let's get all these. All right, we might have some extra wax in there. I did try to drain most of it. And this is, let's unplug this. Well, I don't think we have to. We're not replacing any of that stuff, but I usually like to label them. That was the top one, that was the bottom. I don't know if it matters or not, but that's why that T is there. Alright. And, yeah, that's good. Okay, so this part right here, I did want to warn people about, because my old manager ended up slicing his thumb when he was replacing this tiny little pin. So that's why I always use a needle nose now, just to get this thing out of here. Maybe just straight up and do it. There we go. Yeah, just pull straight up. This little pin here, we just needed to replace it one time, and he put it in there, but it wasn't, well, he took it out, and he was trying to get this thing out of here, and he pulled that, and he sliced his finger so bad that he doesn't have any nerve damage. He doesn't have any feeling in his finger because it sliced so deep. So don't try and pull that out with your fingers. Just push it out like that, because this part right here got him. This part right here, super sharp. So just be wary of that, and do not lose this pin. And there's that piece there. If you were going to replace the handle, we'll get into that when we put everything back on. But yeah, let's, I don't know if this was over here. I don't think it was, but you will need a paint scraper just to get up all that extra wax off of there. If you have a mess down there, a lot of people will. A lot of these machines will have a mess down here. Alright, so now we got these guys off of there. And now sometimes this thing will be hard to slide off of the barrel there. So I'll put this guy right here. Just be careful of the wires, and kind of just jimmy that thing off of there like that. Yep, got a little bit of wax in there still, which is okay. Here's that other heating element. Yeah, mine is already looking like it's... I don't want to pull this guy out because it's working at the moment. If I try to pull too hard, the wires might come off and I'll be down. But yeah, you would just pull it out like you would the other one there, and replace it same exact way. Yeah, these look a little frayed, so I don't want to damage them or take them off entirely. Take it out of there entirely just because of that reason. So that's the heating elements. Here's the plunger. there's an O-ring there. Just be careful of that. And this is a spring, so I don't know, it's never really bounced out at me, but just be careful about that. This is the plunger. If there's wax in there, it might not jump out at you, but there we go. Nice and smooth. Look at that. I even had a blockage in there. A little bit of Schwarf or a little bit of tape. My wax was running a little slow today, and so it's a good thing I was doing this today. But yeah, that's the plunger. This will come off. The spring will come off. The spring will come off, and this little nut here will come off as well. And you can replace those two as well. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna. It's all good. These do come off though, so if you're able to get them off and back on, yeah, this is how you just replace the plunger. There we go. And this, I usually leave two threads poking out when I do this. So that's two threads right there. And then once you, there we go. Okay. Let's get some of that wax out of there. This part is a little difficult to replace, to put back on there. Alright, yeah, the reason this is a little difficult, you have to line up these holes with this plate, and this plate will move. It will come out of there. A lot of times it comes out of here when you put the, when you take this guy off, unless you got it, yep, there it goes. But yeah, just getting this on here, and yeah, just make sure your O-rings are good too, because there's two of them on here. There's one of them on this side here. Wouldn't hurt to kind of take one of these and hook it. Get a little hook going. Try and fish anything out of there while you have this open. There we go. So now we just got to make sure these line up. Before you get everything else on, make sure this lines up and screws down. Because if it doesn't, then you're going to have to take everything back off again just to make sure these are lining up. See, it's not there. So I'm not sure if the video caught the last portion of the last video I did, because I just went to go stop the recording and it started recording. So I'm going to do the handle one more time, just in case. So this is just two easy bolts here. You would take the plate off, just like you saw me do earlier with the open, and once you're replacing everything, you make sure that plate, that little silver piece that's right underneath here that these screw into, just hold that up, screw these bolts into it, and that's basically it. And once that little pin is in there under the bottom, you'll be good. And if the spring and everything is working fine, but don't pull the plunger when everything's not on and not warm. You don't want to damage anything in there with pulling the plunger and making this thing get all worn down. You want this piece right here in the middle, that bar that goes down into there. That part is super important to keep intact, or else you're going to be sliding around when you try to pull the plunger. But yeah, super easy. Take those two bolts off, take the plate off, and if you're replacing that piece in there in the middle, super easy. You just put it back in there, take the pin out with the needle nose. Yeah, needle nose pliers, take the pin out, put the pin back in, and then basically put this little piece in there, and put those two bolts in. Tighten this set screw right here down pretty tight so you don't slide around when you're pulling the plunger, and that's it.